friend, where are you? Found you hiding here in the near clear blue.
He's been cited by Forbes, The Wall Street Journal, Benny Johnson, Timcast, Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, and even the United States government.
Hey, the Pro Show is on.
Awesome! Let's turn it on.
Guys? Where'd you go?
Morty, let's check in on Rian Johnson's new trilogy.
Okay.
I bypassed the compressor.
What did you do, Ray?
Son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.
Now, he was okay, after 6-7 weeks. Okay? They get over it. Kids are resilient like that.
Yeah. I hate it.
It's the standard, what would George do?
I don't want you here.
So sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this.
Fly, you fools.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Weird.
Stay away from liquor, kids.
I have always liked Cowabunga. Now that's more like it, Mr. Wayne.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
The Force will be with you. Always.
That's how winning is done.
I am vengeance. I am the night.
That's what she said.
I am Batman.
If I won tonight, I would come home and we'd celebrate. Well, I'm coming home, we're celebrating. God bless you all.
Watch your habits, for they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. What we think, we become.
It's scooping time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in just 2 minutes, the lighting at the Magic Kingdom will dim for the performance of the Pro Show. We hope you enjoy and have a magical, truthful time. For the safety of others, please, no flash photography. And welcome to Provision 3D.
Alrighty, everyone, put on your opera glasses.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
You know that you've been taught the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Yes, Paul.
Autobots, roll out.
I'm bringing the party to you.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money?
Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
Chicken jockey.
All right, it's time to go to school, son. Come on, get your hands up, man.
Are you okay?
They'll never take our freedom.
From the redwoods of California to the hills of Tennessee to the Rockies and the Sunshine State and Maine with that bright and shining sea. From coast to coast in North America, it's time for your host with the most, bringing you all the entertainment news that should be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the WDW Pro Show! Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed hump day, and here we are yet again, ready to go, ready to roll, and breaking news, breaking hearts, and, well, folks, it's just the start of what we're bringing for Lucasfilm. Get ready, strap in, grab the Velcro, and tell everybody around you I'm not going anywhere until I find out what's happened to my beloved prequels. Joining us today, we've got Lauren Connor, and Lauren, we're going to bring on a panel of excellence in just a minute, and I tell you what, because we need to dive straight in, we are largely going to skip the super chats, but there's something we cannot skip, Lauren. We're going to skip that. Let me rephrase that. We're not skipping the super chats. We're saving them until after the first story, but we can't do that just yet, sir, because look at this. Snarky, who I hear is on the mend. Snarky, what's wrong, buddy? What's going on? Snarky, we want you to be well, sir. Snarky has gifted 5 WDW Pro memberships. Snarky, we appreciate that so much. And then, again, Lauren, the man, the myth, the legend. They call him Fitty D. Fitty D has stopped by, and he's put us on a high that we're not coming down from.
Oh, here we go! It's time to party! It's time to live it up!
Followed by, honestly, he's named after the favorite thing that you have in this world, Lauren.
My very favorite. Yep, absolutely.
Would you like to call out his real name? It's not There Can Be Only One. What is his real name, Lauren?
It's the Highlander.
And as it continues to rain benevolence out in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Ganaway dropping with 10 WDW Pro memberships, and Kuru Kangaroo, 5 from you. And boy, folks, do we ever appreciate every single one of these. No, truly.
God dang it, from the bottom of our hearts here on the WDW Pro channel, thank you.
You're the one who's out of this world, sweet baby. You're the one who's out of this world.
Perfect!
Lauren, I don't remember the last time, and we've had some great shows, and we've had some great support. I don't remember the last time we've started with more than 100 memberships in the first 5 minutes. This is insane.
Yeah, it's been a while. People are obviously feeling generous tonight.
Feeling generous, and we're feeling generous as well. How generous are we feeling? Well, ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you we've got people waiting to come in through the wings, and they're ready to bring the heat. First of all, please join us, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome in, I guess, the guy you've all been waiting for, the man who brings the whiskers every single time. That's right, it's real life fake Wizard. Wait a minute. Wiz, can you speak to us, buddy? Wiz, are you there? What's going on, Lauren? Do we have a bad connection? Lauren, you're muted as well. Things are what's breaking around here? What's happening?
I think he's possibly just deep in contemplation.
Oh no, this is like that episode of The Acolyte. How is it we break the concentration, Lauren? What do we do?
You guilt him into poisoning himself.
That seems harsh. Seems a little. I mean, I like Wiz, but you know what? I don't make the rules around here, so I guess all right. Well, folks, we'll bring him back in if he's a little bit dazed. Just know that well, that's what's up. Okay. All right, Lauren, let's bring in the real guests, and you won't believe who we've got behind the scenes. Folks, it's obscenely generous tonight from you and from us. Let's get started right now.
Who could that be? Let's go see, boys and girls.
When what to my wondering eye should appear but Atreus in Culture Casino. My, oh my, guys, welcome aboard.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Hey, everybody. It's
Atreus.
It's a wonderful Wednesday.
It's a wonderful Wednesday. Atreus, this is your first time on the show. I'd like to welcome you aboard, buddy. And it's a joy watching you out there doing what you do. Over 20K now as you continue to bring coverage needed, necessary to the gaming industry.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to be here. It's crazy being here, considering, how much I was watching. I mean, it's so many of us in this space, between film and video games. I want to say when I was more covering films and things like that before Gamergate hit, man, between you and Valley and Renegade, I was watching a lot of y'all. So it's actually funny being here, considering where I was, just a couple years ago.
And Atreus, listen, I'm loving the success that you're having. And I only apologize because 1 week from now I'll be on camera, and you got to come back once the studio is revealed and I can speak directly in that kind of way that I can't yet. So, Atreus, let's get you back down the road. Is that okay?
Of course.
All right. I've got that kind of confidence. This is going to be a great show. All right, folks. We have waiting in the wings 9 super chats. I promise we will not leave them behind. We never do, but we've got to go to the first story because it's breaking. It's big time. And do we have Wiz yet? Wiz. Ah, boy. Okay. Well, somebody get a Jedi assassin or something. We're going to fix this. Okay. We'll fix this. First story. Here we go. Catastrophic. That's what we're calling it. The Mandalorian and Grogu is feeling very blue right now. Now, I'm going to give you my commentary on this before I show you the original statement made by Star Wars Holocron. It says, this is horrible. The film has a budget of $165 million, but a likely advertising spend of $200. Break even, therefore, is probably $600 million after tax credits in California. Now, how do we arrive at that? Folks, if you've watched the channel, you know 165 plus 200. Let's make the math easy. Let's make it be 150. That gets us to 350, right? 150 plus 200, 350. And then we assume, because that would be 700 if you doubled it, and, well, they need to, but we assume that there are tax credits from California, drop it to 600. And here's why that's bad, okay? If we look at Star Wars Holocron, they're trying to make this seem, out of Deadline, like this is a real win. And I can't stand when they do this, well, except that it gives us the opportunity to rub their snouts in it. Here's the deal. It is projected to make 160 worldwide in its opening weekend. True, the film cost 165 to make. No, it did not. 1, that is the budget. That's not the spend. 2, you're not including advertising, which is a bunch. 3, taxes and theaters get half of that. So no, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. It never has. However, Deadline is reporting on this now, and that's where they're getting this number, right? So Deadline is saying the number is going to be what did we say? Going to be you know what? We should just find out. Let's go there. 160. Star Wars Mandalorian Grogu hopes to hyperspace to 160 global opening over Memorial Day weekend. Anthony D'Alessandro writing this. Here's the problem, okay? The problem is that Sean Robbins out of Box Office Theory has already said this has a 2.25 leg out. Now, we had assumed it was going to be a 1-to-1 international to domestic. And if it was going to open to 100 million, which is what they're still predicting over the 4-day, we thought 200 million was going to be what it would do international, domestic. We call that the worldwide. It's 40 million short. So if this has a 2.25 leg out on a 160, okay, which is what this seems like now, right? So if we do a 2.25 leg out, we are easily sub 400 million.
Yep.
We are way below. Culture, you take it first, man. The media, I'm kind of sickened by the fact they're going to try to spin this for a positive. This is crazy. This is terrible.
Yeah, actually, and what's funny is the first video up for me tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Pacific is this subject matter. The fact that this is being misrepresented in a way that I think Antony should do better at going forward, because 160 million, maybe if it does well. Even Box Office Theory is overestimating what this thing could make it over the 4-day weekend. But again, this is a 4-day holiday weekend. It's supposed to be the kickoff of the summer movie season. This is supposed to do gangbusters, and it's not. I'm sorry, 80 million on a Star Wars movie. This thing is right in line with Solo, and I think it may finish up about where Solo finished up. I would say that they are praying that this doesn't completely fail. But we'll know by the time we get through Thursday previews and Friday box office estimates. We're gonna know whether or not this is going to fall short over the 4-day, and I am anticipating that it does. I think
Saturday morning is when we're going to know, because I think they're going to slow walk this. But Saturday morning we'll get about 11 a.m. for those who want to know, 11 a.m. Eastern, and we're in a strange territory here. We're walking a strange path because, okay, here's the deal. I know that we have talked about how badly this might do. I know we've been on that edge of it, right, where people say, oh, come on, guys, it's a Star Wars movie. It can't do that badly. We're now in a territory where it's doing worse than we predicted. So I don't know what to do with that anymore, okay? We were wrong, but not in the way that everybody thought we might be. That Park Place, I wrote this earlier today just to show you. The Mandalorian Grogu faces steep challenge to break into Jon Favreau's top 5 box office films, okay? Now, what I talk about in this article, I recommend people go read it, is Jon Favreau's top 5, adjusted for inflation. What does that look like? The Lion King, $2.17 billion. Okay? The Jungle Book, $1.31 billion. Iron Man, $974 million. Remember, we're adjusting for inflation because that's actually fair. That's how we do this, apples to apples. Iron Man 2, $890 million. Elf, adjusted for inflation, $445 million. We are now at a point, and I said in the thing that it might be able to beat Elf. I thought it could beat Elf. I explained in here how it would be able to take on Elf. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I said our best analysis is that the film is likely to have a 1-to-1 box office share between domestic and international, which would indicate a $200 million global opening with a 2.25 leg out. No, it's not going to do it. They're already telling us it's at 160. It's at 160. And folks, we recommend you go read this too on That Park Place by Marvin Montanaro. How much money does the Mandalorian Grogu actually need to break even? It breaks this down for you. It is not silly 165 numbers. That's ridiculous. Atreus, how in the world have we arrived at a place where we're the boo birds sometimes, right? We're the negativos, and we didn't go this low.
I mean, it was actually pretty shocking to me because I thought the one positive thing that came out of anything Star Wars these last few years was The Mandalorian. And, I liked the first 2 seasons, and what they did with the 3rd season. I just think you're just dealing with a generation of people who are just straight up ignoring Star Wars. When you have a nucleus of a fan base that you've ignored for a great amount of time, they're not preaching to the up and coming generations about how great Star Wars is anymore. As a matter of fact, they're doing the complete opposite. They're laughing you. And I've seen, it was one exec from out of Hollywood who was talking about how people are having more fun watching videos talking about Star Wars than they are actually watching Star Wars, which says something like that means Gen Z is growing up on watching videos making fun of how bad Star Wars is as opposed to watching it. Think about that compared to like even my father or my grandfather who grew up going to see this stuff in theaters. Is really tragic to see, considering that Star Wars was one of the greatest or one of the highest grossing intellectual properties, not just movies, not just video games or anything, but one of the highest grossing intellectual properties ever, up there with Hello Kitty and Pokemon and stuff like that. And now there's more money to be made starting a YouTube channel and making fun of Star Wars than it is actually making Star Wars films. And at this point, somebody said to me a few years ago that they think Star Wars is, well, no, everybody said a few years ago that Star Wars was dead. And, I always was like, I don't know, it can't be dead, right?
It just can't be. It just can't be, Atreus.
Oh, shit. I don't know now.
Exactly. And here's the deal. 360 million on Memorial Day weekend. Like, it's not going to get the 360, but I mean, to get this low, 160 on the international, the global, the worldwide. Oh my gosh, this is so much worse than we thought. And I'm not trying to pile drive them. I'm not trying to dogpile. I'm just, Lauren, you were right and I was wrong. I think you're the only one who went this low out of all of us, which really says something because you're always defending, that Star Wars can be resurrected, revivified. I don't know anymore. 360 for the projected total box office. And it could get worse. It's nowhere even close to Elf in terms of Jon Favreau's box office.
Yeah, I think they got a bunch of problems that they're facing right now. And part of the reason that I went this low is because I figured that the negative buzz was already so high that most people are just going to say, I'm not going to pay money for this. I'm going to wait for it to go on to streaming. So that's your first problem. The other problems are the ones that Atreus just hit on, which are that worse than apathy in a way is that to the younger generation, it is deeply uncool now to be interested in Star Wars. Worse than apathy is mockery. And so you've lost the younger generation because now it's only cool to make fun of how terrible it's gotten. And you actively angered the older generation. I was in a conversation on Twitter today where somebody was saying, look, if you want to get good Star Wars again, you've got to support this thing. And my response was, we will get good Star Wars again when they start giving us the product we want. We are the customers. And if you're not serving the customers, then the market will react. It does not work the other way around. They're perfectly capable of giving us what they want. They have actively decided not to. So now they've entered into the Bud Light Target territory where we are actively punishing them for telling us that we're going to take what they give us and like it. We're showing them you actually rely on us, not the other way around.
All right, let's talk about the fallout from this then. We've got Starfighter, and we're also talking about other stuff that we now believe is coming from Lucasfilm. We've got a better idea of what's on the way, I believe, and we'll talk about that. What is the fallout if this flops that hard? Like, how does the media react? What happens behind the scenes at Lucasfilm? What do you guys think occurs here? Because I don't believe they ever thought that it could go this low under Jon Favreau. They are deer in headlights as of right now, I believe.
I think in a way they were deer in headlights with Acolyte. That was when they first panicked. This is beyond the 5-star or the 5-alarm fire alert going out. I agree with you. I don't think that they expected this for this movie. I think they started to be afraid of it, especially around the time of the Super Bowl ad. That was when they desperately needed to pivot on the marketing. But by then it was too late. They had already locked in what the movie was going to be, and there wasn't much that they could do. So I think that they're in an awful place now.
Lauren, this feels to me like, you tell me, like, I feel like I'm in a Far Side comic right now. This is like the mortician in the morgue. Somebody running in and saying, we've lost Johnson. He's dead. He's dead. And the mortician says, well, everybody here is dead. What are you talking about? No, he died again. That's possible. What are you talking about? Like, this is where we are. It's like, okay, you managed to double die somehow. Like the Acolyte and now this is amazing, but not in any good way. And I worry actually at this point that, Lucasfilm is, I know it's a hive of villainy, but it could get disbanded. I don't know if you break it off into its parts. Maybe you give Star Wars to somebody else. Maybe you third party this thing for the foreseeable future. Maybe that's the case.
I don't know if they're smart enough to do that. If they want to succeed, that's the smartest thing that they could do. But they'd have to license it carefully. It would have to. Honestly, this is where I think Atreus would really be weighing in, because I think gaming is where you start. That's your safest place to start. And I think of the products that have come out under Disney, one that I think is pretty much universally liked is Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. So I don't know what you think about that, Atreus.
I actually think that's on the money. It's not just Jedi's Survivor that's loved. I mean, practically every except for Star Wars Outlaws. Ignore that. Ignore that. But everything before that, even the controversial Star Wars Battlefront games from EA, while they did have controversy, people love the gameplay so much so that every year it seems that Battlefront, despite being like, what, how old is that game, chat? Almost 10 years old.
Yeah.
People go back and still play it. All of a sudden the player base jumps and people are trying to get Battlefront 3 made. So we recently had an announcement of another Knights of the Old Republic, which is a video gamer's rite of passage. You have to play that game. But when you think about the history of Star Wars video games, it hasn't really been that many bad ones. Even the ones that didn't sell well, like what was it recently? Star Wars Quadrants, the ones where
Squadrons, yeah.
Squadrons. Yeah, that one didn't sell well, but it was still a good game. I think you're right in that the smart play might be to put the movies on ice for a little bit and let the video games shine and then build up good equity that way. It also might be to just take the Disney brand off of Star Wars in general.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% there. I think they need to reinvigorate the 20th Century Fox brand and slap that on there with the old music and title plate, and tie Lucasfilm in after that, and then go right into the whatever it is they're making. I think that the initial feedback on this, and it was brutal. If you read it all today, when Kotaku is kicking your butt on how bad this movie is, you got problems.
Wow.
But but I was looking at it and I'm thinking the some of the criticism that they're throwing out there is accurate. This is small screen vibes on a big screen. That doesn't work, especially if you're going to do it in these giant, PLFs. I think these PLFs are going to really expose it for just how half effort was put into these things.
Yeah.
And again, at this point, isn't Pedro Pascal just a glorified voice actor? I mean, he's not really delivering anything. Grogu's boring, and I can't imagine a story that's going to be compelling that's going to bring fans back. I was set up to see this in a PLF tomorrow, a big one, one of the giant screenings, and with the best sound and everything. And you know what? I just decided I'm going to go to the local digital. I'm going to go a lot earlier in the day and just get it out of the way. And there are a lot of reasons for that, but I'm not inspired to spend money on Star Wars, and that includes the games. I think I think Disney at every point has devalued things by slapping a Disney minus label on it. And I think that the minute you go to TV, you've devalued the magic that it was the theatrical experience. And that goes for both Marvel and for Star Wars. But yeah, I think Outlaws was the most embarrassing thing ever at Trace. And I was like, the shills, the video that Pro has that shows off the shills is still one of the best clip cuts I've ever seen.
Well, I would actually say, I mean, you hit a double whammy on that one that brought a thought that I never even thought of. You talk about the devaluing of the product by putting it on TV, and then you couple that with literally training your audience to just wait for stuff to come out on Disney Plus. That's a double whammy right there. I never thought of it from that point of view. So,
well, I'll tell you guys too, my fear here is that after tomorrow, I'm afraid I'm going to dislike Jon Favreau in the way that Lorne is starting to, because when I listen to Chris Gore say that it's sloppy, it's lazy, and it's flat, and that's the visuals, I say, oh no, not Jon Favreau. But because of all this, that box office could go even lower than the 360 they're calling for. Look out.
At least that's what I hear.
Wait, what?
Let's go! Jabba, right?
Oh no!
Sarlacc!
Star Wars Outlaws pre-order available now.
Guys, this is one of, if not my most anticipated game of the year. Anything that's got me going pew, 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 sign me up.
I gotta say, the concept of this is enough for me to go, I might even pre-order this.
All right, Wiz, go ahead. I know you've been waiting in the wings to weigh in on this. What do you got to say? Come on, Wiz. Anything. Hang on, folks. Let's unbreak Wiz. Wiz, can you hear me now?
We're playing that game, huh? We're playing games?
What are you talking about? We're not playing games around here.
I like that you even have the whole office built into that scene there.
What are you talking about?
All right. Okay. I just got here, man. And now, Atreus and I are on a show on Saturday nights, and now
I've heard about this.
It's going to go from this show, and it's going to carry into that show next.
Wiz, what I got to know is there ever a day that you're not out there working as hard as you can on YouTube?
No, I love the game too much.
I expect at any point to have a guest on and you say, I actually stream with this guy at Sunday, 3 a.m. Check it out, folks. It's late night with Wiz. You gotta be there. It's on my 15th channel.
Yeah, I mean, Lauren and I were going to start a Star Wars show, but that brand is going to be dead after tomorrow. There's no reason to start a Star Wars channel now. You're done.
I think you might want to hold off on that one.
It looked like this.
All right, folks, we got 28 super chats ready to go, and we're ready to go for you. The superstars are on the screen. Teddy D for 499. Good evening, everyone, and good evening to you, Teddy. We've got Kaylee Oth for 5. Is prequels get Chuck Norris, or have the prequels gotten Chuck Norris? Clone Wars, the animated series, just went platinum on resale market. It'll be interesting if Paramount releases Blu-rays. We've got Juliet for 2. Morning, WDW Pro, panel, and pro rights. Good morning to you, Juliet, and thank you to our mods out there. Snarky, Distinct Nugget for 5, and look at that nice little hat he's got. Prep and procedure went without a hitch. Back to work tomorrow. Gotta love getting older. Peace and love. Snarky, we're so happy that you're feeling better, and we hope we put a smile on your face as you recuperate. Snarky for 5 again, nearly 2 days, no food, a bunch of encouragement. Can you say Starving Marvin? Sure we can, hang on.
Hey, look, it's Starving Marvin. Starving Marvin, you need some food.
Can you say Starving Marvin? We did. All good now, thanks to Zupa Toscana. Hey, that sounds a little soupy to me. Kuru Kangaroo for 5. What makes more money in theaters? Backrooms or Mando and Prop? Oh, boy. I'll tell you one thing. We're going to get a real drop that second weekend if this is rotten territory for Mando. By the way, are we at rotten now? Let me look. Let me get the update. It was at 60, still at 60.
Yeah. Again, they are slow dripping this. I say this in my video tomorrow that y'all are going to see, but I'm going to give you a little preview. They are slow dripping this like an old coffee pot because they control how the reviews release on the back end. So you will never see this dip back down under 60. They have to hold this where it is. Disney is like on the phone with the dude that's running this place right now, saying you cannot let this dip under 60. So if you
let's talk about our metaphors for the future. Let's not combine drip, hold it in, and back in together again. And those.
Sorry,
it's okay, but
sorry.
I know.
I wasn't thinking about that.
Snarky for 2. New glasses have arrived.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Look, he's got the glasses on. Way to go, Snarky. Hey. I was thrown off there for a minute. I'm used to the little chocolate nugget.
Avatar. That's right.
Yeah, the Fudge Dora. John for 5. You need the power of 1. The power of 2. The power of many.
The power of 1. The power of 2. The power of many.
No!
Now, ascend, my son.
I don't want to ascend. I'm a real boy. I rate for 199. Culture, check your DMs. I've sent you a real gem.
Oh, okay.
It's a bikini picture. Butter Biscuit is out there for 5 with one heck of a golden logo. No way! Atreus, homie, what's up? But you can keep it PG, though. LOL, good to see you.
Shout out to my boy Butter Biscuit.
Yeah, go Butter Biscuit, go. Kaylee Oth for 5, accent. Wait a minute. What kind of accent am I putting on here? If Wizard, oh no. This is what
we canceled.
We use Jonas to do offensive accents, okay? Jonas is not here, okay. If Wizard Asian, why he drink Cherry Coke Zero? You no drink Cherry Coke? Me love you wrong time. Me so wrongry.
What are we doing?
I don't know, man. I'm trying to read a super chat. What are you doing?
What why am I here?
What's wrong?
Am I now I'm Pooh Bear?
You're just a friendly little Pooh Bear.
Pooh Bear?
Oh, bother. Oh, I'm just a fake
Lauren
wizard.
trying not to laugh.
Give me a smackerel of honey, please, for my little cauldron. John for 5 hopes to hyperspace to 160. Yeah, if they use the Holdo maneuver. Holdo to my beer. England for 5. Atreus wears a cowboy hat. So does Dave Filoni. Coincidence? I think not.
Oh man. Shot
Better
fired
be.
there.
John Maynard for 999. I expect that the actual final spend is 500 million. I expect the final spend to be like 200 million. They'll get the tax credit out of California, and I really think they spent 200 million on the advertising. If you look at comparable films, they've spent 200 plus in the past. This had Super Bowl commercials. This had multiple, giant global things happening. It's 200 mil.
They're trying to downplay it, bro. Like the trade, they're trying to downplay how much money is being spent, and it's a ton of money. It's unfathomable how much money is being spent on this movie.
Listen, it's a blue light Star Wars special. That's what you're supposed to believe, Wiz. Blue light Star Wars special. Got Spring Bear, a.k.a. the Cherokee, for 2. Arsenio, greater than Colbert. Well, yeah, yes. Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. All right, we got O2RR 499 to the tune of I'll Make a Man Out of You. Culture, we turn to you.
I can't do that one.
What?
I can't. I'm in
I'll
voice.
Make a man out of you. Come on, you got this.
No, I don't. I wish I did. You should do it. It's in your range.
Okay, how would I do this, Culture? How would the tune go? A Jedi, you must be swift as the flying X-wing. A Jedi with no attachments to slow your course. What would the rhythm here be?
Be a man is a Jedi.
I can't. Yeah, I can't place the rhythm. I can't place the song. So I'm not the person. If Jonas was here,
O2RR, I'm going to fix this. Give me a few. I'm going to play some Gloria Estefan for Culture, and he's going to find the rhythm. Okay, hang tight. John for 5. Star Wars used to be passed from generation to generation. My wife and I told our kids about it. We aren't telling them anymore. That is the death knell.
Yeah, man.
Could be. O2RR for 499. Culture, you're going to make people sad. This is now twice. A Jedi, we're the last of the Jedi Order. I'll help you take down the dark side of the Force. Come on, Culture, come on.
I don't know the tune. I cannot help.
I'll make a man out of you. That's the tune. Come on, dude.
I wish I could. I really
okay.
do.
I'm
not Jonas.
What is a song you know that we could do this to?
I really don't know.
Itsy Bitsy Spider? Is that what we're going to do today? Is that what you're going to give the folks? They pay all this money, they get Itsy Bitsy Spider Jedi?
I would love to help service this cause. I cannot.
And Itsy Bitsy Jedi, we are the last of the Order. I'll help you take down the dark side of the Force.
Well, you did a good job there.
Well, thanks, buddy. We've got Quinn Falcone for 5. I refuse to watch anything with Gabriel Aspal. I think I know who that is. Don't worry, he's just a voice actor. Kuru Kangaroo for 2. This is a Death Star explosion of a bad movie. On the way.
It's going to be bad.
England for 2. Quick, drinking around the world with Grogu for $150. Look at that cute little Grogu. Look at him. Look at him with a little beard. Oh, he's a cute little Grogu. All right, we got Kuru Kangaroo dropping a 5. Kuru, if you meant to send in a message with that, let our mods know. We'll get to it. I promise you. Tennille the 10th with the 10th for 5. How kind of Jedi Holocron in the trades to offer a job to Baghdad Bob. It's nice to see he's still finding work. And there's nobody yet in Iraq, remember. Rowan of Strata for 5. Is it bad that these past years make me miss those 2 cheesy Ewoks movies?
Yes.
Are those on Disney Plus?
They are.
Yes.
Okay, well, see, Wiz, there's one reason not to cancel it. You can go watch the Ewok movies.
No, there's other ways. There's other ways to watch those movies.
That doesn't do it for you. That's the... No?
No.
Did you see the anatomy
subscription?
Wiz, did you see it was trending on Twitter for a while, the anatomy of an Ewok? Did you see that?
I wish I hadn't.
Wasn't it disturbing?
It was extremely disturbing, and it kept getting shared for days.
I've somehow missed this. What is this?
Oh, please. No. Hold on. Lauren, look it up. Everybody, let's watch his face. All right, here we go. Lauren, anatomy of an Ewok on X. This is what we call high quality television. If you're watching this on a giant 77, 87, 100-inch OLED, you're getting your money's worth right now.
Is this a video or what is it?
No, it's a picture.
It's just a picture.
Poster. Uh-huh.
I'm afraid to send it because I don't think we should be sending each other this.
You could be tracked by the FBI if you send it.
Yeah, there's
what?
It was worth it.
What's happening right now?
All right, here's what I need, folks. That 3 seconds. Man. That 3 seconds, I rate all the rest of you who do the things you do, the magic you make happen. That 3 seconds, I want you to go clip it, slow it down to 25%, so we can watch the neurology of Lorne go into hyperspace.
I wasn't prepared for that, and I'm no longer innocent.
Neither are the Ewoks. No. Mr. Dak has gifted 10 WDW Pro memberships. Thank you, Mr. Dak.
God dang it, from the bottom of our hearts here on the WDW Pro channel, thank you.
And we mean it. We've got Sebrew for 2, Yo Trey, and any game that lets me go, pew, 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 sign me up.
And what's going on, Sebrew?
You got to add the sign me up. Without the sign me up, it just doesn't work. Pew, 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 sign me up. John for 5, maybe do a poll. Gizmo from Gremlins, Baby Groot from Guardians, and Grogu from Mando. 3 toys enter, 1 toy leaves. All right, we can do that. Hang on, let's get a widget going here. New poll. Lauren, pull up the next super chat while I do this.
Okay, we've got Snark for 5. Got to restore the lore with Little Ain't Loyal.
Yeah.
Little ain't loyal.
Yeah.
It was
those clones ain't loyal.
Hang on a second. Hey, we'll get that up there in just a second too. Okay, so we're gonna put the poll up. Start show. Here we go. Put it on the right side. All right, folks. In the chat, you press 1 for Grogu, 2 for Gizmo, 3 for Baby Groot. Tell us which one is the cute one that lives. We'd love to hear from you. Oh, and no, those clones, they ain't loyal.
Commander Cody, the time has come, homie. Execute Order 66. I'm still alive, motherfucker. Riding in the gunship, me and my squad. Thought we was day ones, now they coming in too hot. I deflected every blaster just to keep you in the mix. When did y'all start playing? Hit me with that 66. Got my 5 old first boys with my day one shooters. I have had it with these motherfucking dancing clone troopers. These clones ain't loyal. Felt it when my homies died. These clones ain't loyal. Watch my boy Kiadi Monday die. These clones ain't loyal. There ain't nowhere for you to hide. Clones ain't loyal. The chosen one, crispy and fried.
And in the lead, as we anticipated, Gizmo. Just don't give him water. Andreas, it's a real high-class place you've stumbled into here.
What are we doing?
Looky here, folks. This is what we're doing. Gilliam II dropping a Benjamin. Gilliam, what are you doing? I'm going to click a button. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Everybody disappeared, Lauren. That's sad. I don't like that button anymore. Culture, get in here. Atreus, get in here. Wiz, get in here. Where's Wiz? Wiz, get in here. Wiz, where are you? Wiz. We've lost Culture. Culture's... There you are. Sorry, we had...
see me.
We had... I'm
How
sorry.
many of these do you have queued up?
I like that we could.
Been made?
I like because of the widget, because of the poll, and because of the size of the super chat, we could just barely see Lauren's head bobbing with laughter.
Yeah, he's laughing. Yeah. But also to know that you've preloaded these into StreamYard, like there is now a roster of all of those images preloaded in, and that's I don't know how to think about that.
We wouldn't do that. Why are you? We wouldn't do that.
Hey, you stole my beard. What the heck?
Yeah, that's not my beard. That's culture.
I'm rather shocked you say that we stole that beard. I thought Lauren found it on Timcast from years back. Anyway, Gilliam for 100. For Star Wars, I will continue to say the only way to attempt to make money again is to actually apologize. This isn't like a typical corporate mess up. Bad decisions people will forgive or forget. Actively insult me and tell me I'm horrible for a decade and an apology is due. This is, Gilliam, the same sentiment that I have put out there for celebrities. Yeah. If you disagree with me politically, I don't care. I will go watch your movie. That is A-okay with me. Like, you want to go watch a sporting event with me? You want to go watch a football game, basketball, whatever? I don't care if you disagree politically. It's fine. We can have a good time. However, if you as a celebrity literally hate my guts, then that changes the whole thing. So like with Mark Hamill, I think he hates me. I think that Mark Ruffalo hates all of us, right? And that, I'm sorry, I don't want to go support you if that's the case. So I'm with you, Gilliam, and I appreciate the Benjamin, absolutely. And we'll get the panel's thoughts as soon as we play your clip, because you deserve it for 100 buckaroonies. All right, Lauren, I'll hand it to you. What do you think about this one?
No, I think it's right. I think there's a certain segment of the fan base now that absolutely, even if they got an apology, they're done. And I don't blame them for that. I don't think you're ever going to get it. You're never going to get a formal apology where they say, gosh, I'm sorry. I think they're probably at the point right now where they're definitely trying to decide what do we do to try and backpedal so hard that we're telegraphing I'm sorry without coming out and saying it. But whether they'll take any of the necessary steps to do that, it really depends on just how desperate they are. And I think after this weekend, they're going to be plenty desperate.
I think an acknowledgement of wrongdoing would serve as an apology for a lot of people, not most people, but an acknowledgement that, hey, probably slandering our audience for 10 plus years wasn't the best idea. We're moving in a better direction, not a new direction, but a better direction may help. I'm not sure, though.
Well, one of the things that I think gives them a little bit of cover is that there has been the change of leadership. And whenever that happens, the new boss always wants to look better than the old boss. So you might have the ability to try and distance what you're doing from, say, Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger. I think if Josh D'Amaro is taking steps and wanting to look better, maybe that's a way he can do it. He can just say, I'm not Bob. And maybe that's all he needs to do. I don't know.
You know, there's another angle about this movie that I don't know if we haven't seen the film yet, but we will as of tomorrow. But I think there's an angle of it we weren't prepared for that I'm starting to hear. This movie is aggressively for children, which now makes me think they are giving up on, I'll say, the Chud fans. You know, how they classify us. They're giving up on the legacy fans. They're giving up on the Disney fans, too, because they know the Disney fans are just going to follow along with whatever they make. And if this is really for kids, then that means this movie is like a sniper shot to try to capture Gen Alpha in the way that they've been missing Gen Alpha for the last 10 years. And so I think that's the motivation behind this Mandalorian and Grogu film. And when we see it, we'll know it's bad, but it's also bad for kids because kids deserve good content too.
Yeah, my feeling is that they stripped out anything that would have referred to anything else. I think they decided they wanted to play this movie as safe as possible. I think that's why it's coming across as kiddie. But I think that's also, at this point, the worst possible decision they could have made. They actually needed to take a risk here.
Right. Yeah, they should have done something, but they played it safe, and they're going to pay for it. And I think this should be I know a lot of people are like, well, it's not Dave Filoni, because Lauren, we've talked about it, and it's like, well, Favreau's involved, and this is Favreau's movie. But I think this should be the movie that when this underperforms, it is failing critically right now, but when it underperforms at the box office and it doesn't make money, and they'll tell us that it broke even, and fine, let them run with that. But internally, the metrics are not going to hit. And I think after that, corporate should come downstairs to the Lucasfilm office and say, yeah, Filoni, now you're in handcuffs. You're going to do what we tell you to do. the way we tell you to do it. We're bringing in this team now. You get to keep the title, and you're going to make the stuff, but we're bringing in alternative teams to kind of run the show now. You are president in name only.
I'll tell you, that may have happened when the executive team flew to San Francisco. I'll guarantee you they sat down for a screening of the Mando movie, and they may have said, get the cuffs.
Right.
All right, blah, 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 blah for 5 to all the hard-working wizards of the world.
Yeah.
We agree. I think that's my favorite.
That doesn't even look like me. It's just the background.
I feel like this is your best impersonation of Mr. Miyagi. So
of the many that you have. Okay.
I'm just saying.
It's only okay because I'm not actually Asian.
Don't worry. We've got.
I don't believe you.
Wait,
okay.
that I'm not Asian, or
Yeah.
that it's only okay because I'm not Asian?
Yeah, both of those things are true.
Patrick, for 5, if you could start with the power of one clip, then immediately follow it with Chuck Norris roundhousing Vader, that would be awesome. Well, we did it. We'll do it again. Why? Because we want to give you the win.
The power of one. The power of two. The power of many.
Stop it. Get some help.
And going right along, we got John for 5. That Mulan song, somebody sang that to Ellen Page one too many times, and now we get Achilles coming.
Actually, they do believe that the actual leak is El Panor.
I think that's going to be the case, too.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this. You notice the pause, folks? I think YouTube listens to that kind of stuff. So that's if you wondered, why did Pro pause in between those two names? Patrick for 5, and it would gross more than The Mandalorian and Grogu.
True.
The re-release of Star Wars in a year may outgross Mandalorian and Grogu. KB Hugs for $4.99. Lauren, given the thumbnail title, my question from last night stands. Do you think it's going to happen, or is Pro just dreaming?
What's the it here? Are we talking about retconning? If you're asking about retconning, then again, it really depends on how desperate they are. I do believe the Disney leadership has said you're going to fix Star Wars one way or another. I don't think that you get Josh D'Amaro and
Dana Walden, Alan Bergman.
Right. I don't think they don't fly out there unless they're delivering a message. This wasn't a promotional tour of some kind. This wasn't a media blitz. This was them coming and saying, you've got problems here. This is an extremely valuable property on our list, and you're going to deal with this.
Tanil the 10th for the 10th time says for 2, is this a Lorne equivalent of the Sad Affleck meme? Are they saying that you're behind this, Lorne?
All I can say is that I appreciate the artistry.
The beautiful man.
Oh no!
What?
We're gonna have a conversation after this.
Wiz,
I think Chun Li. I think you could pull that off.
Wiz, could you just say flying bird kick for me, please? Flying bird kick.
No.
I actually tried to get that pose, and it wouldn't let me. It wouldn't generate it. So I had to. I did what I could.
I can't believe it wouldn't make a woman upside down with a split leg kick move. I can't believe that. Tanil for 2. Oh no, that one looked like Movie Bob. Too far, bro. Too far. I want everybody to know that I've made a horrible calculation. I go on camera next week. I have chosen a bad time for this to be done to Wizard. He will strike back. I will. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wiz, let's talk. It's this man. This is the one you want to strike back against. Look at him. Look how much.
Funny. Yeah.
John for 5.
I got texts that will show suggestions that have been made, so that works both ways, pal.
John for 5. Thing is, they called us istophobes for years while shrinking John Boyega's pick for the China market. That's just evil. Yeah, we've called him out over and over. We need to call him out again for that one soon. I rate for 2. I sent the link to the video you asked for to Culture Casino. Culture, check it out.
I believe I just dropped it in the background for you.
What is it? What do we got there?
It's Lauren's shocked face for a reason.
Oh, we got that done that fast?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it rates fast.
Let's see. I don't see it. Where's it at?
It's down below.
Oh my gosh. All right. We've got instant replay on the show now. Hang on, let me read the super chats. We'll go to the instant replay. England DG for 5. Wiz is wrong. It was made for a single dog. Moms that day drink box wine and bought a Grogu toy in 2021. It would have made $1 billion in 21-22.
You'll have
It was made for single dog moms that day drink box wine. I messed up all my syllables there.
Yeah, you put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yeah, it happens. England DG, I screwed this one up. I apologize.
We'll see.
You
We'll see
prepped it
after
well.
tomorrow. We won't know until after we all see it. We'll know very soon.
Bruce for 199. Diane needs to reach out and re-embrace the fans.
Disney, but yes.
I like Diane. I like Diane. And yes, the A is close to the S.
DEINE.
Chun-Li, y'all need to check out Mona Kimura. I worry about saying that name now online. Wait a minute. What is this? You put audio on the thing? How are we going to play it with audio?
It's AI audio. It's not real.
I don't care. We're gonna silence it. Here we go. There's the smooch. Oh my gosh, we're gonna save that forever. That was Lorne. That was the way you looked at the Ewoks. That part of the Ewoks. Look at. Why did you pucker your mouth? What are you doing?
That was me saying what? Remember? Because
no, you have a strange way of making a what.
Yeah.
It was a very strange image, and
Yes,
not
it
at all
was.
what I was expecting.
Yes, it was. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just about 1,000 of you joining us right now across the TikToks, the Instagrammies, the GeoCities, and everywhere else we're carried today, including ICQ. We've got a guest waiting in the wings, ready to come on board, and he is saying, "What have I stepped into?"
Oh,
that is the ICQ sound. You remembered.
Now, commence Operation Vacuum Suck. Suck.
Oh, I say, we have the guy to lead the way for us. It's Derek Anderson, the DA. Welcome aboard, buddy.
Oh, what's up, fellas? How's everybody doing?
What a show.
What's going on, Atreus? How you doing?
My boy?
Yeah.
Doing all right?
I ain't seen you in a minute.
Come on, man. You was just on the show like
a month ago? 2 months ago, maybe? I don't know.
Anyway. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Yo, Wiz, you letting them do this stuff to you, man?
Dude,
What?
It wasn't me.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, no.
I don't know what's the problem?
Oh, no. Yo, man.
He's
Hey,
a
bro,
Kim
you want
Jong
Wiz to come
wizard.
back, right? You trying to get Wiz to stay on the show and keep bringing him back, right?
He's Kim Jong Wiz. Kim Jong Wiz. What?
Jong wizard. No.
I just wanted everyone to know it was my nerdy home that started this crap.
Can we go get some North Korean commercials and change it to Kim Jong Wiz, please? Anyway.
Jong
All right. Listen, Lauren, we have been harsh. We have been too mean to Wiz. Okay, enough of it. Stop it, you, Lauren. You're gonna get called out for bullying around here. All right.
I've got.
We don't do that around here.
I've got one more.
One more?
Yeah, it's not done yet. I'm working on it. Oh, actually, this is not the way I intended it, but I like it, so I'm going to go with it.
Is this the one? Is this the one you're talking about?
No, it's not up yet. Just give me a minute.
Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I'm having fun back here.
All right, after the next segment, Lauren, we got to get the thing. And by the way, you're supposed to lead the next segment, so just heads up on that.
It's up. I just put it up.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if it's appropriate for. Okay. Before we do this, Wiz, I want to make it up to you. Okay.
Could I have a hug? Give me a hug.
No way.
Come here.
I'm not coming over there.
Let's go.
Forget it.
Pronto.
What are you doing?
Yep. It's short round.
Wow.
So the beard and mustache turned out a little bushier than I intended, but I thought it worked.
Okie dokie, Dr. Jones. Hold on to your potatoes.
We're going to work on some of the phrasing here tonight. Culture did the rear end thing, and now we've said a little bushier than I expected. Folks, let's dive into the next story right now. It's an exclusive. Here we go. Well, folks, what if we told you that there are more signs pointing towards Star Wars getting the reset we talked about with the scoop on May 3rd. It just continues and continues. We'll explain why. Lauren Connor is going to walk us through this. But over at Geeky Tyrant, Hayden Christensen is now reportedly returning to play Anakin Skywalker for multiple new Star Wars projects. This is by Joey Power. And well, folks, it's 2, okay? Multiple sounds more impressive, so that'll get more clicks, but it's 2 projects, which actually lines up exactly with what we have been hearing and talking about. We'll explain in just a second. A new report claims that Hayden Christensen is lined up for at least 2 more Star Wars projects, which means fans may be seeing a lot more of both Anakin and Darth Vader in the years ahead. After the way audiences embraced his return in Obi-Wan Kenobi and later Ahsoka, this honestly doesn't come as a huge surprise. Lucasfilm seems to understand just how much love there is for the prequel era, and they're leaning into it. According to industry insider Daniel Rickman, who they'll say his name. No, listen, we're not casting shade. No jaded here. Christensen is expected to return for multiple upcoming projects as either Anakin or Vader, considering he's already played both versions of the character again under Disney's banner. The possibilities are wide open. All right, Lauren, this came out after you and I had been talking about what's probably happening behind the scenes. You have been reviewing the data, looking into what you believe is the path forward for Star Wars, and you've discovered some stuff. Walk us through, Lauren. Who is Ahsoka, and why is she the character Dave Filoni likely is going to use not only to retcon the sequel trilogy, but the prequels too?
Okay, so first I want to define what I mean by retcon the prequel trilogy. I don't mean do away with or fundamentally change the content of the prequel trilogy. But as I've been preparing for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, I've been going back and watching all of the content to be sure that I remembered everything that happened and could put the movie in context. That included The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian Season 3, and Ahsoka. And this is only the second time that I have watched Ahsoka. I have not watched it since the first watch through. I hated the show when I first watched it. So I'm not all the way through the series yet. I will say the show actually improved for me on the second watch. Although I still think that it's horribly miscast. I think that it has some serious problems with it, especially at the end. But the episode that I was watching last night was the episode where Ahsoka enters the world between worlds and meets Anakin, as in these images here. And this time, I paid a lot more attention to the dialogue in the scene. And one of the things that bothered me about this happening in Ahsoka, her entering the world between worlds, was how did she do it? Because they made clear in Rebels that there needs to be a doorway. They had a Jedi temple that had a locking mechanism that tied to the gods of Mortis that Ezra could open to get into the world between worlds. Palpatine wanted to enter so badly that after that mural was destroyed, he had it transported to him and had Ezra brought to him to try to open it again. There's no doorway. How did she get in? And so I got to thinking about it, and I think that it ties back to the Mortis arc in the Clone Wars. She died in that series, was infused with the power of the daughter who died, and has essentially taken on aspects of the daughter's role, but has not accepted her role as the daughter. Instead of dying in both cases so far where she should have, she has not. Now, in that scene in the world between worlds with Anakin, he says that he's there to complete her training. And she tells him that he's a little late for that. And he says that he hasn't taught her everything that he knows. And there's a back and forth that's going on with them. He's trying to entice her into a fight. She says, "I won't fight you." And he says, "I've heard that before," referencing when Luke said that he wouldn't fight him. Shatters the walkway that they're on in the world between worlds. She falls, and they're now in the Clone Wars as her younger self. And they're in the middle of this battle, and Ahsoka is having difficulty wanting to fight in the Clone Wars. And she's seeing the cost of the war, and she's asking herself, is this all this is? Is this what we're supposed to be doing? And Anakin is making the point that the Jedi of old were defenders, but in this era, they have to act as soldiers, and that's how he's training her, because they're in the middle of this war. And she continues to press back on this, the idea that she doesn't want to fight. Anakin is leaning on her to do so. And eventually he tests her he says that she's incorrect and says, back to the beginning again. And they start to fight again. Now back in the world between worlds with her back as her older self. And at this point, she turns off her lightsaber, just like Luke did. And the fight's over, and Anakin says that maybe she's actually learned what she needed to know now, and then she exits the world between worlds and goes back to normal. I think what this is hinting on is that, again, the Jedi lost the position they were supposed to be in. They became soldiers, not defenders of the peace. Anakin failed in his destiny because he was supposed to take on the aspect of the Father in Mortis and refused the call, and in doing so doomed the galaxy to endure the Clone Wars and Palpatine's rule. Ahsoka also, in her place, refused to take on the role of the daughter, and later on, the world between worlds was used to prevent her from dying. And so, another thing that occurred to me is because she has an ability to escape death because she is the aspect of the daughter. This represents life in the Star Wars universe. This is the part that gets a little wonky. This is the retcon of the prequels part I'm talking about. The one thing that the Jedi of the current era don't know how to do, have forgotten how to do, is to retain their identity after death. And the only one that knows how to do that is Qui-Gon. And they have never explained that. And the base explanation that they have given is that at some point in his travels, Qui-Gon encountered a Force shaman that taught him the ability to do this. But they've never actually told that story. I think that if Ahsoka takes on her aspect as the daughter, at that point she has access to the world between worlds. She can enter it at will. It connects all space and time. She is the one who teaches Qui-Gon how to retain his identity after death. When she has that meeting with Anakin in the world between worlds, he makes a point of the fact that Qui-Gon taught Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan taught him, and he taught her. And he says, you're a part of that circle. Well, if it's a circle, then this is in line with Lucasfilm sensibilities. It is the girl boss going back and teaching the one Jedi who knew how to do what needed to be done.
That's what I was going to say. So we think contractually this is starting to line up, because if Hayden is back for 2 more things, we have heard that there's Ahsoka season 2, and then there's a wrap everything up and reset it. This lines up pretty darn well. The idea that Ahsoka, who is his favorite character, is actually the most important character in all of Star Wars, because she's in all places at all times. She's like the Dark Phoenix of Star Wars. She actually taught Qui-Gon Jinn how to use the Force to become a ghost. And the sequel trilogy gets branched off because she was supposed to be the one who died and accepted her fate in the world between worlds, but she didn't. And that's where this is going. Is that right, Lauren?
Yes. Now, bear in mind, all of this is speculation on my part. But part of what I was thinking about was, I don't think that they really can easily pivot to the original trilogy characters because they're either too old, it's too expensive, or people have died. I don't think they want to recast. But they know Hayden is popular, and we already know that he's in Ahsoka Season 2. And they've dropped enough breadcrumbs there, and they have to figure out how to resolve Ahsoka. They've never explained that meeting with Qui-Gon and the Force Shaman, and it occurred to me, it's like, well, who would know how to do that?
Well, here's the other thing, and then we need to open up the panel to give their thoughts on this, which I know that we're really deep in lore beyond where we typically go here, but I think it's important. We've talked about in the past that they can no longer do a Mando 2. That movie's gone. There's no sequel. We've talked about there's no more Ahsoka movie. That's gone, right? Nobody cares about Thrawn, so all that's over. If we need a reset movie, now everybody on the panel, now listen to this and think about it. And audience, hear me out on this, okay? Because Lauren walked me through all of this, and he when he started telling me this stuff, the little breadcrumbs that Filoni's put in there, I said, yep. And then the contract stuff came out today at the same time we were talking about it. We said, okay. Who's the one character with the one actor that they still have at Star Wars that they could put a movie on and wrap the whole thing up and try to make all the fans happy? They can do it with Hayden and Anakin / Darth Vader. It's the one character who remains that they haven't destroyed. And they get to, I think this is where they're going. It's the only movie they can make. It's all they've got anymore. And it makes sense when Filoni's out there saying, well, you can't really use Darth Vader because, you know, Darth Vader. He's right. They're going to use Anakin.
I want to make a point here that I see in the chat from Butterbiscuit, and I hear this a lot when I throw these type of theories out there. You say this assuming most of the chat have seen Clone Wars and all that animated nonsense, and I highly doubt it. For the chat, sure, you're right. And I agree with you that if you were trying to pitch this, for instance, in a movie, you'd also be right. Most people haven't seen it. It's too complicated. It's too convoluted. But the people who are watching the show, which is where this will take place, are the people who have already watched the show. They are familiar with it. And so the people that this story would be for are the ones who are already deep into the lore and know the stuff about Mortis and the world between worlds, so you don't have to level set for them. That's why this is part of what I think those rumors of the reshoots for Ahsoka Season 2 are about.
All right. Wiz, Derek, I've seen you both engage in that conversation. Both of you have the same kind of reaction. I'm going to hand it over to you. Before you tear it apart, it is a girl boss Dark Phoenix move for Filoni's favorite character. So what do you think?
Derek, you go first.
Why, thank you, Wiz. The main problem that I see with this, not to say that Lauren's wrong or anything, because he's probably 100% over the target, but it doesn't do anything, in my opinion, to build hype and momentum for the franchise as a whole. I mean, like you just said, a lot of people haven't seen any of these stories. They don't know anything about the Mortis arc. So why spend any more money trying to explain away something that the vast majority of the, you know, TV watchers and movie-going public could care less about? Why even, like, why go back to that well to try to explain something that people aren't going to watch or care about, even if they do watch it? So that's the number one problem I have. I do believe that when Dana Walden and Josh D'Amaro and Alan Bergman showed up, they said, you need to add something to Ahsoka to get this thing fixed, or you got to do something, because the franchise is floundering and there's way too much money being left on the table for you guys just to get around here and play super deep lore with a lot of people that, for starters, didn't even watch it on Disney Plus. I mean, a lot of households have Disney Plus, and people couldn't be bothered just to tune in to watch Ahsoka. We saw the ratings for Ahsoka go from here down to here by the time that thing finished. And so a lot of people that did start with Ahsoka didn't even finish it. So why would we make something? And again, I'm not saying that, you know, Lauren is wrong, because he's probably right. That's probably something that they're contemplating. That's the first problem that I have. I don't know if they would give him that adjunct and then he goes and does this. It's like, this isn't moving the needle. That's the first thing. The second part that I have is the constant need to recontextualize the characters of any of the previous stuff that George worked on. All right, to make Ahsoka stand preeminent. I'll say, well, now we must look at Qui-Gon in light of Ahsoka. You know, like, that stuff is just poison. You're just asking for it at that point. Qui-Gon is still sort of a beloved character. People like Qui-Gon. Really haven't messed him up because he was just in one movie and then he was done. So I think most people enjoy Qui-Gon as a character. To add Ahsoka as the person that taught him how to, you know, become a Force ghost. Now, again, it's girl boss. It's totally within the wheelhouse of Disney Star Wars. This is what Disney Star Wars does. But what are you really doing at this point? Are you really trying to rip apart the prequels the same way that you recontextualize everything that we knew about the original trilogy? You're asking for it at that point. You're begging for everybody to hate you. Now it's like, okay, now we can't even enjoy the prequels like we used to, because now we have to look at everything in light of this nonsense that Filoni wants to put out there. It's not even risky. It's insane to do it, but it's Disney Star Wars. This is what they've been doing. So I wouldn't be shocked, but man, this would be such a boneheaded move.
And I want to say, Derek, we're not advocating for this. It's just that
right.
Lauren
I understand.
Lauren's going back and looking at what's there. Like, how did she get in the world between worlds, all this? Then we see the contracts landing.
Totally,
and we're like, okay. Right.
Yeah,
this is where they're going.
Like, all signs point to something going on, especially with Anakin coming back. So you got to sit back and think, okay, this is probably somewhere close to what they're trying to do. They're trying to use Anakin in Ahsoka to go back in time, make it all make sense. But again, you're talking about putting a lot of effort and energy into something that a lot of people just haven't watched. Not that many people finished up Ahsoka that started Ahsoka. And then how many people are finishing, going through the Mandoverse and enjoying the Mandoverse? It's like people have checked out. That's why, John Favreau was like, oh, well, Dave's going to tell me about the future of the Mandoverse next week. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I think the Mandoverse is coming to an end, and I would just try to clean it up as much as possible without hurting any of the previous iterations of Star Wars. That's me. Anyway.
Lauren, give us your thought, and then let's go to Wiz, because I know you had a response to that.
My argument is just, if you're asking why are they spending money on this, it's because they've already spent the money on this. The series is already shot. They've already got season 2 that's been shot but now delayed because they're making changes. They are in post-production, but I believe that reshoots are going to be part of this as well. And admittedly, the tie that I'm making here between Ahsoka and Qui-Gon is tenuous. This is me making an intuitive leap. But knowing how Filoni approaches Ahsoka and what he is setting up her role to be, and knowing that what they have said in the lore is that Qui-Gon learned how to retain his identity through his contact with the priestesses in the spirit realm and a shaman of the wills. Well, a shaman of the wills would have to know how to retain their identity after death, and the only one that I know of that would have the power to do that has been shown explicitly is somebody infused with the power of the daughter. That's Ahsoka, and that plays to what Filoni loves to do.
Now, Wiz, in addition to what you're going to say, let me add this to your plate. Take it from two sides. I know you're going to hit us on the lore, but from the executive side, from Disney, imagine they come in and they say, Filoni, fix it, we don't care how. And Filoni looks and says, all I got left is Anakin. All right, go.
Take it from two sides, huh? So with this problem here, Lauren, he said it. Lauren, the problem here, there's two problems. Well, on one side, we haven't seen the Mandalorian and Grogu yet at the time of us sitting together. This movie is not going to be, well, I think your opinions might change after we see this film, because we're all going to realize it doesn't, we are still trying to apply logic to something that is too far gone to have logic applied to it. There is no course back to fixing things. It continues to get worse. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to. The Mandalorian and Grogu is them attempting to say, okay, we made some mistakes. Let's try something else, but we still think we were right the first time around. There is no amount of logic that we can apply to something when the writers themselves are only capable of emotion. They're only capable of writing through the lens of high emotions. Somebody's sad, somebody's angry, somebody's happy, they're sad again, they're angry again. Now they're crossing their arms and arguing. And what are they arguing about? It doesn't matter. It's because emotions are high. That's all Hollywood. It's not just a Star Wars problem. It's a Hollywood problem. You're talking like somebody, and this is not an attack because I'm jealous of the optimism. But you're talking like somebody like it's 2008. You sound like it's 2008 when we are so dead. It is the corpse stinks is where we're at, and it needs to be buried.
You're misunderstanding me. This is not optimism on my part. I am not framing this,
but it still is because you're still trying to give them credit to even through the lens of it still is terrible. You're still trying to apply logic to something that you have done more legwork in that little bit of thought than a SWAT team of Lucasfilm is capable of doing.
You're still misunderstanding my point. Were they left to their own devices? I agree. I'm making this argument in the context of they have been ordered to, which I think is something different than what has happened before. And I think that order is serious. I think right now they are in the full 5 alarm. There's no more effing around here. You're going to find a way to fix this, or you're gone. And I think that's the only threat that moves the needle.
And because of that box office we've reported on with Mandalorian and Grogu, I mean, this is not embarrassing anymore. I don't even know where we are. Like we have talked negatively about what it would do, and it's lower than we thought. So, that's pretty impressively bad. And I just think, I think Star Wars, I think at Lucasfilm, Disney the executives have probably went and said, we don't care what it takes. We don't care how you do it. but it's going to get done. And and then you enter into Filoni's mind space and you figure, well, you know, how would I do this? Well, we got Anakin and we got Ahsoka, and people still like them, and Ahsoka she'll be the girl boss, and it's okay. And I see this going in that direction. Atreus, culture guys, hop in on this. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I know it's lore heavy how we get there, but ultimately the bottom line is they've got to branch off the sequel trilogy. And if Filoni also puts Ahsoka into the prequels, I don't put it past him to do that.
I mean, I don't know a lot about the lore as much as you guys do, but I mean, I think it can be as simple as we just got to get butts and seats, period. Like I wouldn't put it past them to do that. I also consider the nature of the film industry in general, and that a lot of the stuff that's put out now is still a result of, you know, the previous regime, right? Like, you know, the Kathleen Kennedys and, you know, whatever they had in plan. So like, as much as I would love to say, hey, you know, this was their plan all along, or this plan is what they're trying to do for the future, it could be a clean house type of thing. It could be like, let's start this thing over. Let's just bring him in. Let's bring I don't forgot his name already. Just Anakin. I'll just say Anakin. Yeah, just bring him in. And let's build around him a type of situation, because one of the things that we know is that Disney understands that they need to get the men back in order. They've said that they want to get young men back, not just for Marvel and other brands like that, but I mean, you well better get them back for Star Wars as well, because I think the idea that you've been convinced is that women are going to spend just as much on Star Wars as men was completely asinine, and you're figuring that out. So yeah, you're going to want to bring him in, and whether it's for the deep lore reason or to fake Wizards point, no, they're not thinking at all. It could be for any reason. They just need to bring it in. Like, there's people that are just like, I don't care what you do. Like you said, bring in somebody who's going to put butts in seats and get us our core fan base back.
Culture, your thoughts on where we are with Star Wars and the fact that we're talking about them having to pull this kind of a lever, whether they do or not. These are the kinds of huge moves they've got to make to try to get out of how badly the sequels have harmed them.
Yeah, and I don't think you do that with Ahsoka. I think she's probably the worst character to bring in. She represents all of the issues with Star Wars. I thought you were going to say all
of the Jedi before her for a minute. I was like, no, don't do that to us.
No.
Well,
she represents all of the bad Star Wars.
You want me to really make you hate me?
Okay.
Oh, no hate.
If she does take up the role as the daughter and then teach Qui-Gon this ability and then moves to teach all the rest of the Jedi that ability, that actually fixes the I'm all the Jedi line in the sequel trilogy, because now all of the Jedi know how to do that.
Yeah. Oh, please no.
Look, there's no saving this. I'm sorry. I've been looking at this for a long time. You know, through the eyes of somebody who was actually sitting in the theater when the first movie rolled. Okay. I'm that old. So I was a young boy, but I was watching Star Wars, which is the first in theater memorable experience of my lifetime. And I can say that I can reflect back on the many times I made family members take me to go see that film again throughout the year, because it played forever in the big theaters and small theaters alike. And I can say that I never thought that the hope for Star Wars and for good Star Wars would die in me, and it's gone. I don't care anymore. They're not bringing me back. Star Wars and Disney and all these other things, Marvel included, those are passed down generationally. You build up love over time. The only way, the nostalgia is the feeling, the sensation of being able to have reach back in time and cling to an emotion that you had at that time. I have done that for the majority of my lifetime. 47, 48 years of my life that I was aware of Star Wars, because Star Wars was new. And I don't think I will ever experience that feeling again with anything new that they're trying to make. I think they've pushed the I'm not sharing it with anybody anymore. I doubt any of you guys are. I don't feel compelled to sit down with them and watch any of the Disney minus garbage, or any of these other films that showed up. The sequel trilogy was a complete disaster, and once you disassemble the Force Awakens the way it properly deserves, you find out it's a worse version of A New Hope, which was what Star Wars was originally called. That's why I have no hope for Star Wars, and Disney has no hope, because if they're not relying on base emotions, as was described just a few moments ago, and very shallow writing depth, which is what Filoni's capable of. I mean, the animated trash he's produced is just that, and none of it ever adds to the conversation. And the depth of the writing is exactly equal to the love that anybody could possibly have for the Let's Get High Republic, or whatever the latest version of Star Wars was, to remake it with a feminist frame. And here's the problem we're looking at on screen right now, is it's all female driven. And if you female drive it with Ahsoka, nobody's coming back. I promise you, Grogu sales are not going to go up after this terrible film I'm being subjected to tomorrow. And we're going to be back in the same frame that we were, from the very first time they tried to remake Star Wars. I think George realized his mistake, but there's nothing he can do to fix it. And he's made several mistakes with his property, including trying to remake and re-edit the original trilogy, which was a tragedy. I think that they don't know how to make this a lived-in universe, and I think that they failed to learn the lessons of trying to do it in the smallest frame on TV, and those don't translate into the biggest frame.
Let me give Wiz the final word here. Wiz, we've spoken in partial English this entire segment. I'm not even sure what some of these things mean whatsoever.
The world between worlds.
But Wiz, what if there's a movie after Ahsoka, World Between Worlds, Anakin and Ahsoka have to reset the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. They make it simple enough for normies to understand, hey, they're going to reset the thing. And that's like all this other stuff we're talking about in this segment. That's in a dozen novels that come out to cover it. But for the normies, hey, it's Anakin and Ahsoka on a glowy walk bridge, and they got to fight a bad guy, and Ahsoka's got to die, and they wave goodbye to a fading out Rey. Woo, Rey, we're going to miss you. No, your life never existed. No. And here we go.
Do you know what? Firstly, this conversation seems a little too black-pilled, even for me. So here's what I think is going to happen.
You're the pill. What are you talking about, man?
I'm shocked.
Even for me.
Whoa!
I said black-pilled. It's a little too black-pilled.
Too black pill for fake wizard is saying a lot.
I was going to say, he is the pill. What are we talking? What are we doing here?
We've actually that will come and crap all over your excitement.
Oh yeah,
we have accidentally curved all the way around back to hope for fake wizard. That's how dark he is.
Like a hedgehog looking at a porcupine and saying, "You're too spiky."
Lauren, it's actually a new hope. So here's what's going to happen, because I think you're on kind of the right track. They need to play this out, right? They need to end the things and end all of the Disney Plus stuff and end all of the Disney Star Wars stuff. And here's what I see happening. You are going to have a crossover kind of a movie. And I do think there's a reality where, because here's why: Grogu sells, and women like Grogu, and women like to buy Grogu stuff, and he's so cute. That's not exactly going away, even if the Mandalorian and Grogu film underperforms. Grogu makes money as the Baby Yoda. Hold on, culture, hang on. You have no idea where I'm going with this. What we're going to get is a kind of a crossover project, and it's going to be the big kind of come together. You're going to bring Ahsoka together. You might even get Pedro back on screen for 5 minutes. You're going to have Hayden Christensen. Everybody's going to get together, and whatever conflict that they're going to come together and fight is going to end with a timeline reset.
Yep.
And that's what it's going to be. And it's going to be A New Hope 2. and it's going to be the restarting of all of Star Wars with a new cast where the old George Lucas verse has come to an end with all of Disney Plus's favorite characters. Maybe they involve Rey. Who knows at this point?
Oh, they're
They'll
going to
pull anything out of
doomsday
their
it, bro.
butts.
They're going to go full doomsday.
Yes.
They're going to bring everybody into this that they can. I have no doubts at all about that. I think that's what Dave Filoni is trying to figure out how to do it and make it make sense. They're going to basically doomsday this. There
is no way to bring back Star Wars fans, to get Gen Alpha interested. There's no way for Star Wars in its current state. There is a zero possible chance to continue Star Wars the way that they've been going. It's losing. It's worse and worse and worse with every iteration. The only path forward, especially after Mandalorian and Grogu, is the canon timeline reset. And I think Lauren's onto something.
But I'll say this. I disagree that they'll restart Star Wars in terms of redo what George did. I think what they'll do probably is go into Luke being the cool Jedi, because what have they figured out from all this? Clearly, that's what people wanted. Let's do that. We'll give you ultimate version Luke for the next decade if that's what you wanted. We'll recast him. We don't care. Please buy Luke action figures. Please buy Luke action figures.
Wouldn't it be something if the ghost of Anakin whispers to Ahsoka to convince her to take on her role as the daughter? Let the future die. Kill it if you have to.
I don't always hit the button at the exact right time.
That was an ending, all right.
I'm telling you. Can't do it every time, but that was one of those times. All right, folks, we've got 31 super chats out there as we have 1,200 of you joining us across the Tickety Talks, the Instagrammies, the X's, the YouTubes, and even LimeWire somewhere in New Mexico. I don't know what you're doing out there. Stormwaver for 5. Hi, WDW Pro. Well, hello, Stormwaver. It's good to see you. Silent Watch for 5. I think Wix is going through an identity crisis right now. You guys should probably talk to him about that. Poor Wix. Has anybody checked on Wix lately? What's old Wix doing? Poor Wix.
That looks terrible. That looks really bad.
Are you surprised that you look bad as Chun-Li?
So bad. No, it's not me, but that's
yet strangely attractive.
What is wrong with you, Lauren? No. Go back to the Ewoks.
Hey, no, Lauren, no. If I see that walking on the street, I'm going to the other side of the street. Okay. I don't want
Culture, why did you remove the clip of Lauren in the slow motion? I needed it right then so badly.
No, you didn't. You really didn't.
John for 5, ICQ. Holy crap. That's a blast from the past. Uh-oh.
It was
Stormwaver for 5.
Still my favorite chat program.
Lauren Connor. Culture Casino.
Yeah.
Derek Anderson.
That guy.
Fake Wizard.
That guy.
Atreus.
That guy.
And no pro. Poor pro. No, I'm just kidding, folks. Thank you, Stormwaver. We appreciate you. I'll click the button. Derek's going to disappear, but we'll bring him right back. Never fear. There he is. Lauren, hop back down here with me, please. Culture, you go there. Lauren, you go there. And ladies and gentlemen, Stormwaver. But it is.
No, it can't be.
But it is. Stormweaver. We've got KB Hugs for $4.99. Do a new poll for Gen X only. Does Favreau get a no KK contract to do over, or is he done? I'm for one more chance outside of a KK. Don't fail me again. Don't fail me now. This box office is going to leave a lot of victims in its path, and Favreau may be one of them. Lauren says he deserves it. I don't know. We'll see, but the box office looks bad. I will say that we ran a poll, and this never happens. 50-50, folks. 50% of you believe Lauren's on the right track. 50% of you say, no way, Jose. Lucasfilm will never do that. Irate Specialist for $4.99. Don't worry, Wiz. The Memes Pro will start. Will disturb many. He'll be dancing with Pedro soon enough. Boy, vey.
Yes. It'll happen.
Oh, boy. Oh, my. Wendy for 5. Is it too late to cancel the camera? Wiz, trading cards in the future?
No, but I mean, I have a coloring book out there. You know, there's a wizard coloring book.
We can color that?
Yeah, we can color that. Yeah.
I'm down with it. Hey, what about Wizamon? You want to do Wizamon cards?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
No.
All right. Either way. Charlie for 28 months. Look up the time Jackie Chan played Chun-Li. Is that an innuendo?
Lauren already has.
England EG for 2. Well, if he'll look up the Ewok thing, he'll look that up next. England for 2. Kim Jong-Wiz. Arvada Starvada. We'll go with it, England EG. We've got R. John 13 for 999. I just got home from seeing Mandalorian and Grogu D23 event. I didn't think it was that bad. Well, R. Johns, it's good to hear from you. I hope it wasn't that bad. Middling is what we have heard. Let us know in the chat. No spoilers, please, although I don't know if you could. Was it middling? Was it? We've heard that it's an average season 3 episode. That's what I've been told. Average season 3 episode. Stormweaver, I have no confidence in Mr. Filoni to save Star Wars. You know what? That deserves another one.
You have every honor that a man could have. You've got almost Oscars. No. No Oscar. No Oscars.
The winner.
Oh, so painful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stormweaver's back again for 25. Stormweaver says, is the target counter broken? No, it's not. And folks, we have went past the counter. New emoji will be here tomorrow in time for the Mandalorian and Grogu review. So be here, be here. You earned it. New emoji on the way, just in time for what's on the way. Kajan is out there for 5. It says, I've got it. A way to unite loyal fans and the SJWs. Make Vader's Force Ghost be an image of James Earl Jones. Well, that would be a surprise. We've got John for 10 again. Nobody cares about Thrawn. You kidding me? I read those books, as did many other fans, I'm sure. Timothy Zahn wrote many of the books and treated the material well. Well, John, we've met Mr. Zahn, talked to him, and they didn't invite him in. And that's why nobody cares about Thrawn. They care about the books. They don't care about the Thrawn that you saw in Ahsoka Season 1. And that's the problem for Filoni Baloney. He's created a Thrawn who is just as mentally impotent as the people at Lucasfilm. Guys, any thoughts on that one before we move on to the next Super Chat?
I mean, they really should have brought Timothy Zahn in. I don't understand why you would use his character that he created and made legendary and then think you can write as good as Timothy Zahn. And then, I mean, Thrawn is just an idiot. He's just an idiot. He's one of the dumbest leaders in the history of entertainment. I don't understand the decisions that Disney made with that. But Timothy Zahn, if he came back in, if they were smart and they brought him back in and said, okay, we're going to do Heir to the Empire. We're going to go ahead and get this thing going. We'll recast Han, Luke, and Leia. I'd be down to watch that. I'd be down to check it out because Timothy Zahn is an excellent writer.
Bring him in. Bring him in. England DG for 2. Lucasfilm needs to hire Mel Brooks.
No. Leave Mel Brooks alone. Let him retire and just leave him alone. The dude's like 98.
He might be the demographic now. John for 5. At this point, Star Wars is the washed up whale on the beach in Oregon in the 70s. Yeah, we're not playing that again. That got us one time. Turns out that Sinclair Media owns the exploding whale, and we shouldn't have played that. You can't even dynamite it without making a bigger mess. The blubber passed through the sky for miles. Wolfie McGruffle for 5. I only understood 5% of these words. I need a new Leering Center. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Lauren was speaking in tongues at some point during that last thing. We've got Stormweaver 5. Wow! It took a while for the counter to update, LOL. Stormweaver, you're the kind of guy, though, who dislodged it and forced YouTube to start counting again. And Stormweaver says, goal? Yes, indeedy, folks. We hit that goal, and that means a new emoji is on the way.
We need rest. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is spongy and bruised.
We've got Mary White for 5 for Baby Yoda, a.k.a. the Grogu. Snarky for 5. What did they do with Balin? R.I.P. Ray Stevenson.
He's going to be played by Rory McCann going forward. They did recast the role, so you will see Balin in Ahsoka Season 2. He's just going to look a little different.
Right or wrong decision, and he was the only good thing I think about Season 1.
Yeah, I think that he was a compelling character. I hate the fact that Ray Stevenson passed away. Tremendous actor. It's just a shame.
We've got Douglas Nutt for 2. Use the prequel solution. Jar Jar stumbles in. We're at the point now where Jar Jar is an upgrade. Butter Biscuit for 5. In fact, I will say that a Jar Jar movie as a comedy could make more than Mando and Grogu right now. Butter Biscuit for 5. Star Wars has no hope until they clean house. Anything Filoni does will be convoluted hodgepodge. That's why it doesn't matter what they do. Patrick Getaway for 5. Lorne needs to seek psychiatric help. ASAP. Well, I mean, have you seen the things he's been looking at behind the scenes? JD's for 5. Do y'all think Star Wars should be exclusively animated? And what did you all think of the mall show if you've seen it? Wiz loved it. Look, Derek loved it.
Nah,
Lauren
you
loved
can't.
it.
Star Wars is meant to be in theaters.
I agree
that's
with
where
that.
Star Wars needs to be. It needs to be in theaters, not animate. I don't even like the animated stuff that much. Yeah, it just needs to be in theaters. It's a theatrical franchise.
Yep, with the trumpets, the fanfare, dun, 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 like the whole thing. That is Star Wars. It's the whole thing.
Yeah, and that animated garbage is just hot garbage.
Garbage is hot garbage. All right, garbage. Let me easy up on the garbage. Let's see. Alan Jin, member for 13 months. If Lorne is right, it destroys all of Star Wars because then Anakin is no longer the chosen one, as Ahsoka would be more powerful than him.
Not necessarily. He was supposed to take up the role of the father, and he's still within the world between worlds. And so, if
Lord have mercy, if Filoni hijacks George's stuff to make the father and the mother and the son and the daughter and all the characters are actually aiming for that, holy moly! Sorry, Lord, it came out of me. I didn't mean to.
It could happen.
I couldn't. Okay. Oh, Filoni. Wolfwolf for 2. Star Wars: The Empire's New Groove could be big. Yeah, let's get the Force out there, fellas. Let's see what we can do. Dogepal for 2. Do you want Star Wars or just animation? I guess asking JD's. Well, you could just ask JD's, but as for us, what do we say? Well, you just heard us. We say fanfare, silver screen, bum, 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 bum. Sabretooth Raptor for 10. Sent an email, Culture. Memes. All the memes. The greatest memes. Want Lorne's and pros and panel's thoughts? Also, take the Outlaws pre-order cast. Replace Smurf with some of their words is funny. Star Wars is smurfed. Or snarfed. Whichever the case may be. Look at Culture. He's digging in right now. Digging in.
I'm looking.
Douglas Nutt for 5. I don't think we'll realize when Pro goes on camera that the show will likely be interrupted by many static Pro memes. I will be honest, I'm now afraid of what Lorne will have going for that show. And if you look...
You started it.
Did he just do a bewitched nose wiggle? What the... All right. Anticipation rising. Bruce Newhouse from 199. The KK emoji. I can't wait. Did we get rid of the KK emoji? I thought we had that. Butter Biscuit for 2. Did Pro, Jonas Campbell, or Marv see my post I tagged you in? Well, I think so. I think so, Butter Biscuit, but I don't know so because I would need to know which post it is. But I think so. Chef Eddie for 5. Star Wars fixed. Ahsoka gets the Dial of Destiny and resets the universe with Helena Jones.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. KB Hugs for $4.99. Solution: unredeemed Vader uses World Between Worlds to save the Empire and kill the Emperor. Ahsoka tries to correct and succeeds at a high cost. Maybe. And folks out there, we got 5 gifted memberships from Woodsy, who is in no way associated nor related with Woodsy Al. No, stop it, Woodsy Al. Leave me alone, Woodsy Al. Okay? Back off me, okay? If you saw the episode, you know.
What are those?
These are my Spider-Man pajamas.
Let me rephrase that. Why are you wearing those?
Because my He-Man pajamas are in the laundry.
Oh, Balky, behave. All right, folks. We got to say goodbye to one of our panelists right now. Culture Casino is going to go, but only because he's prepping a new show that's coming out later tonight with Lou, LW Ghost, who, by the way, will be joining us tomorrow at noon as well. Culture, what are you guys going to be talking about over on the Hollywood Backlot with Lou and you, where the redirect goes?
goodness. I'm going to say we're going to talk a little bit about the Colbert guy that is doing his final shows this week, and I couldn't be more happy. I think tomorrow is officially his last day. I think the rest of the country will be happy about that.
I thought he was already done. Is he still going?
I know. I think his official end is either taped tonight or tapes tomorrow.
And Jimmy Kimmel is not going to run an episode against him?
No, actually, both he and Fallon and they all decided to run reruns so that they can give this guy a send off. It won't really change the numbers all that much. But,
we're winning in every possible way that night. I mean, Colbert goes bye-bye and the others don't come on air.
Yeah,
that's like a threefer.
It is. It's a threefer. The only better thing would be if PMS Now were to go away at the same time.
You want Matt O to quit on the same night?
I think that'd be beautiful.
Okay.
But yeah, we're going to talk about some the fact that Congress is trying to revisit upon us some real censorship in the form of the No Fakes Act. They're bringing that idea back. That's going to immediately lose if somebody takes that to court, to the Supreme Court. That'll get knocked down for free speech. We're going to be talking about Miles Teller not doing interviews anymore because the mainstream press are a bunch of liars. And Michael Bay is going to be directing the film about Operation Epic Fury Rescue with the 2 pilots that were rescued.
Well, there you go. Yeah. All right. Well, Culture, take care over there, and we'll be sending them your way in just a few.
See
you, Culture.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we say farewell to Culture, we are going to farewell because we are going to head into choppy waters, switching industries to something that is 14 times larger than the film industry. What are we talking about? Well, we're talking about gaming. And just as we have watched in Hollyweird, well, it looks like the studios that make the interactive games you love are starting to figure out woke is taking them down, 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 not the witch's road, but an unhappy, economically disastrous place. Let's talk about it, starting now with the final scoop of the day. All right, folks, we've been paying very close attention as Hollywood is starting to learn their lesson, maybe, sort of, kind of. Well, we'll see by the end of summer. But it looks like to us that Hollywood now knows that woke just doesn't work. I mean, they can love it, they can want it. It's not going to be devoured by the fans. Is that now happening for the gaming industry? To find out, we turn to Grums. That's Mark Kern, the man who led the way when it comes to the original World of Warcraft. He also is the producer on Diablo 2 and StarCraft. So he's kind of a big deal. I'd put him on the Mount Rushmore of game developers. And Grums says this: gamers voted, Ubisoft died. $1.3 billion euros in losses. Tough austerity measures imposed. Historic low in Ubisoft history. Will not return to profitability until 2027 or 2028. And Ubisoft will focus now on live service games. Of course, you all know that Ubisoft was so focused on woke, like that thing on the left. Yeah, we're talking about you. Oh, that thing on the right. All of it. And they've just about lost in every way possible because. But there's a rift forming now, folks, in the gaming industry. People like Andy Cortez angry because woke stuff like mixtape just is not being accepted. But he's getting ratioed. It's almost as though we're watching deja vu all over again in gaming. He says, some Asmongold fans came into our YouTube chat because we like mixtape. I promise you, we don't care that you hate our content, LOL. If someone said, KF sucks, also I watch a rotting subhuman that's ugly as talk for hours a day. Dude good, LMAO, stay away from us, please. Reminds me of all the stuff we've seen from like Star Wars, where the folks who were making it said, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Well, nobody did. And then Asmongold shows up and says, if you tag me in a post like this, it lets me reply, by the way. I know when you make a post with limited replies, the intent is to create a safe space where no one can be mean to you, so I thought you should know. If you need any more Twitter or YouTube advice, feel free to ask. Owning him and getting 31,000 likes in a heck of a ratio. And who's been following all of this? Well, folks, your main man on the panel right now, Atreus, is right here, and he's been covering all of this with the woke stuff. I want to play this Andy Cortez guy, and then I'm going to go and find out what the heck is going on in gaming. First, though, here's the video.
Y'all remember this clip?
You will see a surge in the player base for Concord because I'm going to rally everybody up together and say, do you want to get matched up against streamers who play it for 12 hours a day, or get matched up against the 12-year-olds who have better reaction times, who watch the streamers that play for 12 hours a day? Do you want to get matched up against them in Call of Duty? Are you tired of getting slide canceled into? And are you tired of having the movement gods and the TTVers all over the damn place ruining your night? Come play Concord.
Come play Concord. Andreas, what we've been watching is the destruction of the gaming industry, following right along the heels of the Hollywood, economics. I want to go to you now. Is it starting to change as we watch people like this Andy guy who they want you to play Dustborn, they want you to play Concord, they want you to play Star Wars Outlaws, and darn it, you won't do it. Are the studios now starting to learn what Hollywood already seems to be learning at this time?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
no, absolutely not. And I think it's for you did you say that the video game industry was 15 times bigger than
14 times bigger than 14. The box office? Yep.
I think that has a lot to do with it. There's just a lot more money to go around and a lot of different hands in different pockets. It's not to say that it's not changing at all. Obviously, gamers have made it clear these past few years what they don't want to play or what they don't want to be involved with. But what the video game industry have obviously made it clear is that they have no problem with being covert about it. That's why we have this this latest scandal with Slay the Spire 2. That was an indie video game that did like crazy numbers when it first came out, and everybody loved it. We talked positively about it, and then it was revealed a few months later that Anita Sarkeesian was actually in the credits of the game. That's because the video game industry has no problem being covert about whether you want to call it woke or political correctness or ideology, whatever it is you want to talk about. It's there, and I think gamers are going to work a lot. They're going to have to work a lot harder than moviegoers to communicate that they don't want this. Because the thing about it, a movie is pretty simple. You either go and watch it at the box office or you don't, right? And that tells Hollywood, who has a 2, 3, 4 year turnaround to decide what the next movie they're going to make is. It's a clear message. And that's why you'll hear Bob Iger come out and say stuff when he was employed at Disney. We got to focus on quality, not quantity. After hearing people talk for 2 years about, hey, we're sick of all the Disney Plus shows, right? But over in the video game industry, it's not the same, because the people who are the quote unquote stars of the industry are not actors, like superstar actors with different political ideologies. Say like what's the name of the guy that played Star-Lord? I forget his name. Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt, who's a superstar in the industry, but he's clearly a conservative, right? But he still has staying power. So if Chris Pratt comes in and say, I don't really want to do it that way because it's a little bit too left-leaning. Well, that's going at Blumhouse, that's going to have a say. Hell, at Warner Brothers, that's going to have a say. Okay, so Chris Pratt's not going to do it this way, but he obviously drives money. You don't have that in the video game industry. It's the stars or the developers, and that whoever has the talent and the amount of numbers and the most amount of money is going to have the pull. So you got a video game like Subnautica 2, where is this woke? You can determine that or not. But they make a video game that's a survival craft, where normally in those video games you're supposed to kill stuff, and they say, nah, we don't want to kill stuff because we don't like killing fish, and we just like you to be able to survive. Listen, you can do that, but if I don't play your game, then I don't play your game. And they don't have a problem with taking a loss. And what the video game industry has showed you the last few years is, hey, we don't have a problem taking a loss. We'll continue to take a loss because we believe in what we believe in, and we believe it will prevail at the end of the day.
Wiz, one of the things that we've noticed in gaming is that a lot of this stuff is subsidized by actual national governments, and sometimes even China, that want to propagandize this stuff into America to weaken maybe the society. Is that part of what is blocking the transformation? Because this is not economically feasible. There's no way for this to survive. Gamers in mass have rejected it, and yet it still continues to be produced. What's going on there, do you think?
Well, we look at this game like Mixtape, and this game is $20. It's on every system, and no one's buying it. We could see from the Steam numbers that no one is playing it, no one is buying it. Sure, it's on Game Pass, but that doesn't mean anything. This game is not making money. It's never going to make money. And the reality is that's not the point. The point of it is not to make money. And there are lots of these games that the entire point is to get engagement.
You trapped me here.
It is engagement metrics, and actually, yeah, because the governments and it's China. That's one angle of it. China is not involved with this one. This one actually tracks back to the Australian government.
Why does it always? Why do these always track back to, with Dustborn, it was Norway. Like and it's the EU behind Concord and all this stuff. And it's like, come on, how much can these octogenarians across the world really want to inject woke into America?
I mean, we've got, well, and it's not even just America; it's just the world. It's the Western world. They don't care if it's just the U.S. What they care about is evangelizing just one more person to their cause, and whether that be a political cause or an ideological cause or a religious cause, that's it. Whatever the framing is you want to associate with that. And Pro, if you want to pull that clip up, let me cue it up a little bit. This mixtape game that has been sweeping the internet. If we want to just backtrack this, I'll explain the scene here. This is the climactic, what I would say, final fight of the game. This girl is a degenerate, and the setup here is her father is a police officer, and the police officer caught her engaging in, drugs and drinking and not doing well in school. And so here we're seeing a scene where she's standing up to her dad after having set fire to a cabin in the woods. Her father arrives on the scene and says, well, this is what she says here. Actually, you kind of can't play it now that I realize it, because there is a very harsh swearing. But she's basically saying to her father, if you don't let me do what I want to do, I will continue to burn not only the forest down, but I'll burn everything down. I will become a problem for you, and I will become a problem for society. And that is what the protagonists of this game are. They're a problem, and they are self-inserts of the writers themselves. They've pretty much been on record confirming that. This is trying to Trace's point. This is what's trying to co-opt gaming.
Is her name Tina Kaczynski? Is that what this one's going on here?
No, and but sadly, this isn't going away.
I'm making a bad joke there, Wiz, about somebody who was, apprehended by the FBI in the 90s, early 2000s for, booming a lot of stuff and harming a lot of people. It seems like a lot of these developers for these studios, they actually admire that now, this very illegal thing. They seem to be violent anti-humanists, which I don't think I want my kids to aspire to be. So therefore, I don't think my kids should play these games. And it seems like the broader market agrees.
It's not only are they anti-humanists, which is a great way to put it, they're also too cowardly to ever do anything about making a change in their life or in society itself. These are people, these games are shower conversations for arguments that happened 30 years ago, and they're still not over it.
Have we seen any change in the major studios, though? Because, I know that, for example, Halo has just been destroyed by this crap. And Overwatch over at Blizzard was just about destroyed by this crap. Like, have the major studios at least learned anything yet? Is it just in the indies? Is it just in the small studios? Have the major guys learned anything?
Well, it depends on what you're talking about, because so one of the things that when we talked about this stuff is it isn't just a surface level, because in the film industry, you learn pretty quick, because most of the time those are contractors, right? Your cinematographer, your lighting guys, your costume designs. These are contractors that you're working with. They don't typically be on full time unless you're like really like you get an extended contract. In the video game industry, in these big studios, you're talking about people that's been working there for years. And when we say surface level, we're talking about the game itself, the art itself, whether or not that's woke. But skin deep is the idea that the industry has hired people, activists, who have come in and co-opted everything. You can't see that right away. Now, when you see layoffs, you assume that the people that are being laid off are these untalented activists, creators that have come in, when the movies, when the say 2020, George Floyd, everybody's in the house, all that money came in and they're hiring all these people. You go back to the Weinstein effect didn't affect just the movie industry. It also affected video games, because now it's like, oh, you know, the breaking glass ceilings for women and stuff like that. When you hear layoffs, you assume that. But what we've come to learn is that, honestly, this mindset and ideology has affected so many people. We talked about Andy Cortez a minute ago. Andy Cortez gets ratioed on everything he posts on Twitter, but yet he's still there. And it tells you that they don't care. He posted something today. I forgot what it was. I can't recall exactly what it was, but I was pretty much like, dude, you just need to get off Twitter, because you're posting stuff and people that even like you are saying, you know, this is a bad take. And so they're willing to beat their heads against the wall. And I think it's because they know video games is the largest entertainment medium in the world right now. And like he said with a mixtape, making money is not the point. If you can just convince one person, then you think you got something. So
that's a lot of money per person now, per capita, to get somebody to change their mind. That's a lot of investment.
Well, to Fake Wizard's point, mixtape was bankrolled by the daughter of one of the richest men in the world. If I'm not mistaken, the story goes that they crowdfunded that game, failed, and she came in and financially saved the game, along with some government grants from the Australian government. So when you have projects like that, where the developers can just kick back and sip on lattes from Starbucks instead of drinking Mountain Dew, like that one billionaire had said, then they don't really care. They don't have a problem with hiring a community manager that's willing to go to war with the entire gaming industry, because we're all getting paid anyway, and the art is out there.
Well, let me ask you
That's what it was with. That's what it was with BlackRock, with everybody funding these movies, right? It's the exact same thing. They were making all these woke movies because they thought that they were infallible, but then I guess as movies have started to fail, now the money, it seems like it's just shifting over to gaming. That's the bigger audience anyway, and that's probably where we're going to get more traction for our dollar. Because putting it into Hollywood, people are bailing on Hollywood. And so it kind of makes sense from that standpoint. Let's just focus on video games. Let's give all of them our DEI, ESG money, because that's where the audience is, 14 times bigger, like you said, Pro.
There actually is one other kind of scary point I just want to make sure we hit on is, and it's something Atreus touched on earlier. They are learning in the larger companies. So, Pro, you asked about like Halo. Is it just in the indie scene, or is it in the larger gaming scene? They're getting sneakier in the larger gaming scene now. So they're marketing games as if they are for guys. They are for men. They do have masculine values. They do have humanist values. And then you buy this $70 game. You play it all the way to the end. You might even get to the credits. And then, we're going to rug pull you. Surprise. That was only one ending of two endings, and the second ending recontextualizes the whole game. You are human garbage. That you, the protagonist, the man you've been playing as, is a pile of crap. And of course, I'm talking about the Soros game, which just came out. That was a PlayStation exclusive for $70, and they rug pull you at the end, and it turns out you're a terrible man, and you get
it's the opposite of Metroid in the in the 80s, right? You get to the end, and who is it? It's a horrible man. Okay, so let me ask you guys this then. Yeah. So I'm friends with lots of gamers, and a lot of the kids in my family play video games, and so every time I'm around that kind of crowd, all they're talking about is Fortnite. They're talking about Pokemon. They're talking about Nintendo. They don't touch any of this stuff. And I just wonder, has this opened the door for the few that refuse to go into that area? Has it opened the doors for them to just absolutely be the giants in the industry?
Absolutely. I mean, that's why those three entities you just named are on the top. Nintendo, as a publisher and as a company, I have tremendous problems with. But the games that they produce are good. And that's for the most part, that's all they're doing. Their goal is to just make good games. And whether it be for kids or families or adults or nerds or anime fans, or it's like that's their goal. Is Nintendo is like, we're gonna make games and we're gonna ship games. And everybody else can't quite figure that out. because they see it as an art to be hijacked. And this art form is a place where your activism can thrive. And it's just getting worse, and it's getting dirty, secretive. It's almost to the point now where it is almost like a moral obligation for you to keep up and do the homework. And you almost need to know how the game ends before you buy it, because you don't know what they're going to sneak in on the other side of buying it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, is that one group Sweet Baby Inc. detected? Is that still up and running? Is that still a thing?
Yeah, there's still a thing, but you know, like we were saying, like they've just gotten more covert about it. The simple fact of the matter is they understand that they can't fight the internet. And I think one thing that they don't want us to know that they know is that they know that the more we talk, the more normies start to listen. For example, we talked about mixtape. I said once that we all know collectively, pick a community, any race, any religion whatsoever. If you take mixtape to their local barbershop, everybody's going to tell you to get the TF out of here with that BS. Nobody's playing this. Nobody's playing this. Nobody's thinking about this. Nobody can relate to this. There's not a single average American out here who has a daughter that could have set a house on fire and told their police officer of a father, "You're not going to do anything about it, or I'm going to burn this thing down," and not would have got their head knocked off. I know, you know, there's a joke amongst the black community that white folks don't discipline their kids to say. I'm telling you, the right white father is knocking his daughter. You burn down a house, and you're going to tell me in front of all of my colleagues that I'm not going to do anything. Not only are you not going to college, not only are you not going out with your friends anymore, I might lock you in the basement. But that's much to do about nothing. But the point is that they're going to continue doing it, and the question is going to be, it's going to be a question of endurance. I think gamers are like, listen, we don't care about, like, who's going to complain about not having to spend money, right? We all have, like, we've had a study that's come out recently that has said people are playing older games, and the scary part about it is they're not categorizing what they mean by older games, because a game 2 years ago is still an older game. If you got gifted a game from somebody in your audience that was $60 at the time that they gifted it to, and 2 years later you're just now getting to it, that's an older game. That means we have more games to play than we have time at this point.
That's right.
You can come out and movie flop if you want to, but I have a Steam library that every time I look at it, I get stressed out and don't even want to play the game no more. I just don't.
But that's the brilliance of it too. Is like if you wait for the Steam sales, that older stuff you can pick up for pennies on the dollar. And the modding community too is allowing you to bring up to modern standards some of those old games so they don't look like old games. It's like the community does a lot of work for you.
And I'll tell you too, guys, I think with AI, and I know people have lots of opinions about it, all right? But just set that to the side for a minute. AI has already completely transformed the programming industry. Coding changed forever last October. It is it is nothing like what it was. If you're sitting there writing code right now, you're doing it wrong at this point. AI can do it for you. And what that means is, I believe that this goose is already cooked. The floodgates are about to be opened. And do you love, RPGs, action RPGs? Do you love dungeon crawlers? Do you love a smorgasbord of everything you can imagine is about to be unlocked for you from content creators who say, I want to go back to what gaming was, and you're going to get it. And I really believe that this is the last from some of these blue-haired, purple-haired splats people who are being funded by octogenarians from Scandinavian countries and apparently from down under. And it's belly up right now for all of that effort. Within 2 or 3 years, I believe it's getting flushed. And I believe we're going to be playing the stuff that we want to. We're going back to Doom. We're going back to Street Fighter. We're going back to Civilization. We're going back to, SimCity. Whatever you loved, whatever it is, folks, we're going back to playing the games that we enjoyed. They may be named something different. They're going to be made by different people. But I believe the treasure chest is about to be opened. Guys, final thoughts on that one. Should we end with optimism?
Well, the optimism is that making games is so accessible now that it doesn't really matter what the big boys are doing at this point. Because right now there's some goofball sitting in his drawers in his mom's basement right now creating a masterpiece that you never heard of. I don't know how he's doing it. I don't know where he's finding the time. I don't know what his diet is like. But when it comes out, it's going to be like, there are like, guys, I need you to understand. I have several indie developers right now with like 500 followers, 1,000 followers, 1,500 followers that are posting their game every day. And it looks like something that would have come from Activision a couple years ago. The stuff that you're expecting from Blizzard, the stuff that you're expecting from, just insert AAA idiots here. All right. People are creating games at a rapid pace. And keep in mind, you talked about AI just a minute ago. I don't know if y'all know, but Kingdom Come Deliverance is rumored. The third one is rumored to come out next year. Now, keep in mind, the second one just came out last year. If you don't think they're not using AI in that game, you're crazy.
Every game that comes out used AI from here on out. I'm just going to tell you, the artist can say whatever they want to say. Every game coming out from here on out was coded with AI. Every single game. And if they tell you otherwise, they're lying. And it's all PR spin. So all this stuff about cancel if it used AI. Every single game will use AI. Daytona, let's go away. That's what I miss. Bring me back to the arcades, ladies and gentlemen. That's where I love to be. All right, here we go. And although I don't miss the midnight launches like some people do from listen, there were smells in that line for the midnight releases. I remember Halo 2. I got to drive the tank across the bridge, but there was a cost beyond the monetary. Autocoder for 5. Indie AI Star Wars flicks will be how this gets solved. Disney won't retcon, but fans will. Sea-Dance, etc. gets cheaper and better daily. By the end of the year, I expect that people will be making films completely with AI. Again, folks, lots of opinions out there. I'm just telling you, the meteorologist is telling you what the weather is going to be. Snarky again for 5. Best part of the Norris spinning back kick clip is the smile. Of course it is. Roundhouse kicking for the win. We've got Butter Biscuit out there for 10. The most telling was when all these devs cheered on what happened to Charlie. It's a cult. They're celebrated for acting out, especially by the journos. The whole system is jacked at this point. That's okay. We're going to pull the rug out from under them. It's ours very soon. I promise. Just Jay. Hey, Jay, it's been forever, man. You know what? Let's play the Jay clip. Jay, we love seeing you out there.
The letter of the day is J. Oh, J. Yeah.
Jay says, I agree with Wiz. These devs are children who haven't accepted reality. They are being weaponized against society.
Yeah, you know how that clip ends? Because it's diabolical. So she threatens to burn down, continue arson or terrorism. Take your pick. And then the cop, who's her dad, says, I guess we have an understanding.
Well, all right.
Get out of here. Run. Back the way you came.
Don't burn down some more cabins. Not on my watch. Patrick Ganaway. Get to a different county. There's cabins over there. Patrick Ganaway for 5. All this woke nonsense has metastasized within the gaming industry, and it appears the only way to defeat it is to create parallel platforms and formats. Well, we're going to turn them into floor mats, folks. We're going to win. I'm telling you, hang tight. The winning is on the way. You are winning in the culture, I promise. Bigly every single day. Dojpal for 2. Tomodachi life sales are a matter of concern.
Are they?
Maybe. Make sure to feed them. They need you, along with the Furbies that are in the attic. And those things are still running, and they're as scary as you remember them. The Mom for 199. Buy physical media and play 8007 games and system.
I think that's 1980s to 2007.
I see. Okay, 1980s, 2007. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah. Let's see. Here in the studio, I've got, what is this Atari I've got behind me? Atari 800 XL. I've got sitting here behind me. When I go on cam, folks, I'll show you what's in the studio. And there are lots of Easter eggs around. They abound, and I agree. All right, folks, we got to get out of here. We appreciate you. You've done, what an amazing job as a community tonight. Super chat after super chat, and we appreciate each and every one of you. I will say the emoji releases tomorrow, so hang tight. We'll get there. Hawaii Dragon Star member for 30 months. I think for games, the studio should sell a woke version and a non-woke version. Then we can see which one is more popular. Well, that would be interesting. They could do it with Horizons right now, couldn't they? Do that with Horizons right now and see which one people download. I'll guarantee you I know the winner. All right, Atreus, it's your turn now. Tell the folks out there. We've got about 1,000 joining us right now. What do you do? Where are you? And why should they be subscribed yesterday?
Hey, chat. So, my name is Atreus. Listen, I just make videos roasting video games. That's what I do. We talk about the good stuff too, but let's keep it a bean. We are covering all of the stuff that the mainstream media does not cover. I am also one half of New Black Streets, me and Kata, and I got to be honest with you, we act a dang fool over there. I would highly suggest if you're looking for a good laugh on Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern time or Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time, you're gonna want to be there. Trust me. The intro alone will hook you. Just make sure you come through. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be ready, folks. Be ready. Everybody's ready for Wiz, and Wiz, I want to apologize. It was too much, man. I especially want to apologize because I'm going on camera next week, and I want to avoid this for me. So, can we get an agreement now, Wiz? Maybe just let bygones be bygones. Water under the bridge, sir. Water under the bridge. Nothing to see here, right? Right?
That one looks like Philip Chan.
It did.
This one's disgusting. Like this one's bad.
You're well endowed. Okay, you've been blessed. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Been blessed. I never thought I'd see Short Round with a Santa Claus beard, but there he is. Part Short Round, part gnome. Derek Anderson, tell the folks out there, where can they find you?
Yeah, Derek Anderson, the DA. You guys know where to find me on my own channel, posting up videos every day. Tomorrow night, I'll be doing an Out of the Theater for the Mando and Grogu, and then we'll go live on the Nightcap and talk all about it. And I want to say I'm on with New Black Street on Friday night, if I'm not mistaken. So you guys can also see me hanging out with Atreus and Kata. It's always a lot of fun hanging out with these fellas. But thank you, Pro. Always a pleasure. We'll see you on the next one.
I love it. And next time, Derek, I can wave to you at the end. I will not have frozen shoulder any longer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night at 10 p.m. on the East Coast, join us for the Mando and Grogu live review. Lauren Connor may be there. No, he'll be in the theater, but he's in trouble. He's in timeout for what he did to Wiz. We'll talk about this later, Lauren. It was too much, man. It was just over the line.
Commander Cody, the time has come, homie. Execute Order 66. I'm still alive, motherfucker.
I did do and say horrible, regrettable things.
The mainstream media just can't understand how it is we continue to do what we do. They don't realize that we are powered by you, and you are...
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
Folks, we've still got decades and decades left in the can. It drives the mainstream mad.
Would it make you feel any better if you knew that what we're asking Matt here to do is a holy thing?
You see, we're on a mission from God. We're on a mission from God.
Now you're gonna put me right back in the joint.
They're not gonna catch us. We're on a mission from God.
So, folks, as we always say, as we end each and every show here, and we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Every time they hit him, he stood back up again. So they hit him harder. Still, he got back to his feet. Standing man.